everyone, and welcome to this month's session. So in this session, I will be trans-channeling Ascendant Master Lakeshma. And for those of you who may not be too familiar with her, she is an Ascendant Master from Atlantis, and she brings forth New Earth teachings from Atlantis for what is occurring right now, this Great Awakening, which is the New Earth, mirrors similarly to what occurred in Atlantis in her time, which was the first Great Awakening. So she brings forth much esoteric teachings and knowledge in relations to this transition. So today we have Isabel. Hi, Isabel.
Hello.
And Isabel, as you know, has been with us from the beginning. So Isabel, basically, I think you joined the Beings of the Light in its first creation. And she has also joined Patreon as well when that first came about as well. And she has some very exciting news. So I'll pass it over to Isabel.
Thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate it. Yes, so my exciting news is that I am launching some podcasts around my sessions. I have my clients who I regress or I put under hypnosis. And we do 3 sessions. The first session is past lives. And to visit the past life is only to gain clues or understanding for this life, because this life is the most important. And then from that first session, because you're so deeply under, we can then connect with your higher self. And your higher self will then answer your questions and do healing, and it's very cool, the first session. The second session, you go right directly to your higher self, and the bond between your higher self, or the connectivity between your higher self, really continues in that second session. And in the third session, again, we go right directly to the higher self, and it really solidifies the bond between the person. So I created some podcasts around it because I think the sessions are really cool and there's a lot of nuggets of wisdom, and I'm excited to launch it.
Yeah, I think we're all excited. It's been in the works for a while, so Isabel's been our friend here, so we're very excited for her. And so what's the website people can find you on? Information.
You can find me on attractingwisdom.com. You can find me on Attracting Wisdom on Facebook. You can find Attracting Wisdom on Instagram. And you can find my podcasts on iTunes under Attracting Wisdom, and on Podbean if you have Androids, or even if you have an Apple phone, you can still use the app Podbean under Attracting Wisdom.
Perfect. And I've actually personally listened to a couple, and it's very, very exciting. It's a little bit different, the way it's done, especially traditionally as well, the techniques that you use. So yeah, I encourage you to have a little look and listen. It's very, very cool.
Thank you.
All right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to start the session. So I'm going to now, without further ado, bring forth Lakeshma. And yeah, we'll see you later. Hello, my dear ones. Hello, my dear.
Hello, Lakeshma.
It's my honor to come through once again in this way.
Very happy to talk to you in this direct way too, Lakeshma.
Remember, all of you, just how powerful you are. You, my dear one, are remembering this more and more, aren't you, my dear one?
I am.
This shift that has occurred on Gaia is allowing all of you to see more of who you truly are. And how exciting is this? Never before in a time of your perceived history has there been a time of such great awakening on Gaia. More of your DNA in the human vessel is becoming activated to allow you to align more to who you truly are, to unlock the divine blueprints within you, to allow you to remember your purpose and why you were here. And as such, many of you are coming across new abilities, we would say new perspectives, confidences. How exciting is that you are now more exploring who you truly are, exploring more of your purpose and why you are here. It's not by accident that you were born here in this time continuum, because you knew you'd be going through this transition. And those of you that are watching this are resonating with this deeply, for you are here for another purpose. You are here to also expand, but in your terminology as a light worker, you are here to assist also in the expansion of all that is in many different ways. But firstly, just for you to be the vibration of love, for you to raise your vibration and to align to more to who you truly are, to your source self. It is here when you radiate the source love. It is here when you radiate more of who you truly are. And as such, that energy frequency, we would say, gets emitted to all those around you, and they absorb this energy, and it activates then within them their own knowings. Can't you see? At times, you do not even have to speak these words of wisdom, for just the energy alone will activate their blueprints. Can't you see? That's why it's always internal work. For you to truly explore your purpose here is to do the inward work. And we say work, although in higher truth there is no work. You came here to explore this in a joyous way. It is only your perception that you may term this work and term it in, we would say, a difficult or challenging way. But challenging is only in your perspective. It does not have to be challenging. But yes, you may come across situations that seem challenging, but that is just an illusion. It is a test for you because you're ready to pass the next level. So thank it. Be grateful that you're ready to go through to this next stage of expansion. If you can change your perspectives on these challengings, then you'll be able to flow more easily through the transition. But of course, because it is a transition, you are also releasing old operating systems. A lot of the limiting beliefs are coming to your awareness, and a lot of them are, we would say, triggering you, but this is triggering you for a reason. There are people in your life that are playing that role for you to trigger these within you also. Certain situations are in play here to trigger these, to allow them to be transcended into the light, to allow them to come to your awareness for you to address it so you can become more aligned to who you truly are. Can't you see? This
Yes.
of great awakening is one of love, is one of oneness. And as such, we would say the perspectives on duality that operates in the old operating systems are being transmuted, are being transcended into oneness consciousness state. Oneness is your true state. Oneness is what is the universe. All that is oneness. Can't you see? It is only the illusion on Gaia that there is separation, but you are shifting out of this. Duality still exists in the mass consciousness, and as such, as you are connected to the collective consciousness, this filters down into your consciousness. And this is why with the transition, you experience oneness, and then you also experience duality. It is a transition. It is a stage of the Great Awakening, where you're moving more into oneness. So be loving for yourself, most importantly. Love yourself on this journey and this transition. Many of you judge yourself about your progress. Many of you place judgment and criticize yourself for falling back into fear, acting on fear. But my dear ones, this is the transition and all is perfect. You are capable to overcome. You would not be here otherwise. Some of you may be experiencing great challenges in your perspective, but it is all here for a reason, because it is time for you to awaken your true power, to awaken your God self, to become more God realized. And as such, these triggerings need to take place right now to match and align to your pre-birth intentions, my dear one. All is occurring in divine time, and the time is now. So my dear ones, be patient on your journey, because your journey is perfect and it will unfold beautifully in accordance with divine time and your vibration. So we are honored to come through, as always, to speak of these words, to allow these words to activate more of the remembering within you. So my dear ones, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. It's not by accident. What would you like to discuss today, my dear one?
So I was listening to the first message you gave to me today through Kimberley 2 years ago, Lakeshma. And you were talking about Atlantis, and you were talking about the oneness and how it was prevalent, and that the teachings were very common to channel, to connect within. There was no taboo. And it was really cool to listen back to the first message.
You can see in this time period in your perception how much expansion has occurred for you.
Mm-hmm.
You can see clearly now how you were guided to this channel, how you were guided and inspired to reach out, how this message allowed to activate more of the remembering within you, to allow you to be where you are today. Can't you see? You are ready for that information.
Yes, and Kimberly and I, we were just talking about before she channeled you, was if somebody's not ready, if they're not in vibration, they won't even hear us. They won't even stumble upon us.
That is correct, because there are different paradigms within the illusion. You can term these as different universes within the illusion. So my dear ones, for information that is out there, although you may see it as public and you may assume that people will see this, it can be right in front of their eyes and they will not see it and they will not hear the words, because according to the vibration, they will not be able to reach that vibration of this information. If they come across the information, then it is for them in some way, even if the information may bring them fear, may bring them to question everything they know. That is perfect and it is for them. It's not by accident that people come across this information, my dear ones. All is perfect and all is according to the divine timing. So you can relax and let go that all information that comes to your awareness, to your attention, is for you, my dear ones. But yes, for this time of great awakening, due to the shift that is occurring, many parallels are starting to shift and align to the great awakening of Atlantis, my dear ones. Yes, in the time of great awakening, although we were not expanded as the consciousness of this time continuum, much of this knowledge that was brought down forth to us was integrated into our society, and that allowed the remembering journey to begin fully. For this the teachings allowed us to go within. It allowed us to integrate technologies, information from here and other worlds, to expand not only ourselves but also our society. And these teachings have carried forth in certain ways, but of course a lot of these teachings and a lot of the infrastructure technology, we would say, is not needed now in this time continuum, due to the expansion and the consciousness of this time continuum. And this is why we say it is fun to explore certain areas like this, but my dear one, these teachings, the learnings we take from these multidimensional lives, they're here for you in the present moment. For technologies and information based in these, we would say, timelines have been more expanded upon, we would say. But yes, the time of great awakening, and this will occur here in this time continuum, where it won't just be in the consciousness, it'll shift and manifest into your society in time. At the moment, you may see certain things occurring in your society that is evident of the shift, where once events would occur in fear has now been turned around, we would say, more quickly into the love vibration. You have seen this with recent events, how events are triggering a oneness response in your society. So with this perspective, you can see how these events are occurring for a reason. They're occurring to expand the human race, to expand the consciousness of the human race, and to expand all that is, my dear one. If it's in your reality, it is for you. You may not be able to see why it's in your reality, because you are seeing things from a human conception, and a human conception can only see so far. You may see glimpses of it, but you may not see the full picture until you become more God realized due to your vibration, my dear one. So trust that everything is occurring for the expansion of all that is, my dear ones. And what an exciting time to be alive. All the great civilizations of the golden age in the historical stories of your societies is now aligning to the time continuum of now. So much of this knowledge and this teachings are being transferred into this universe, into this time continuum, and it is becoming even more expanded upon. So my dear ones, what you are going through right now, what the universe is going through, what Gaia is going through, what you are going through, has never been so much expansion has how it's been right now, my dear ones. Never a time in your human history has there been such a time of great expansion. Some things may occur in your reality, or you may see things occurring within the world that you may doubt this, but you can see more and more how this is bringing all of you together into a oneness state. It is just one step. These events are occurring to bring you more into oneness. It happens on a large scale and also happens on an individual scale, my dear ones. There is a microcosm. And as above, so below, everything is occurring for your expansion of the universe. Things happen in your perceived individual context, in your personal life challenges. It's also occurring within the human race on the planet. And as such, as the microcosm, it's also occurring within the universe. Everything is going through the shifts, my dear one, because it is a time of great awakening. And what occurs here on Gaia, what occurs within you in your expansion, ripples out throughout all of the universe. By you expanding, you expand the very universe you exist in, my dear one. Can't you see how powerful you are?
But Lakeshma, wouldn't all entities expand the universe?
That is correct. All entities, all beings expand, my dear one. But those of you on Gaia are truly advanced, and we would say only the most advanced chose to come through here in this time continuum. For you to go through such, we would say, density in your perspective, to experience life in such an illusion, we would say it would be quite challenging for many beings who already live in a state of high love frequency, we would say. For you to forget your God state, for you to forget how powerful you are, to be born into a world of these illusions where you see separation, where you experience fear. Can't you see? Only the most advanced will be able to explore this journey, to actually live out and explore the journey from duality into oneness. Can't you see? So yes, the expansion of all beings expands all that is, but they expand in different unique ways, you would say, according to universal laws, according to pre-birth intentions, not just of those beings, but the pre-birth intentions as a collective of that particular race. So you have pre-birth intentions. The human race as a collective has pre-birth intentions, and so on, my dear ones.
That is really interesting, Lakeshma, but that makes sense. Because the collective, like I feel the collective beliefs. So even if I work on my inner beliefs, it comes back because it's part of the collective, and then I'm like, okay, it's part of being human. Okay.
You are all connected. You cannot separate yourself from this, but you can manage this by dropping into the heart center. If you operate in the ego mind, you run off habitual patterns and you'll habitually connect to the collective consciousness. But if you can drop into the heart center, you drop into your activated divine blueprints, and you'll be able to live more from the heart center and be able to align more to who you truly are that way. But my dear one, as the shifts are occurring on the collective scale, you will notice the shift also in a perceived individual way. So my dear one, yes, we would say these old operating systems are still in the collective consciousness. So if you are not in the present moment, you would run off this. You would say you are plugged into source, for you are source. You are also plugged into the collective consciousness, as all information is energy. That filters down into your individual consciousness and your perspective. And this is what habitual patterns are and stories if you're not in the present moment. But if you can be in the present and connect to your heart and breathe, you will have your knowings. You will activate more of who you truly are. And that filters through back into the collective consciousness. So it is, in your terminology, a give and take here. You are receiving information and energy from the collective conscious, and you're also expanding up into it. So can't you see, as you bring forth this information and address it, and as you allow this information to, would say, agree or disagree to your new beliefs, you'll be able to address those limitations within your own beliefs, bring it forth into love, see the higher perspective. And once you can see those things from a higher perspective in a oneness state, that energy, that vibration will flow out across the collective consciousness and all that is, can't you see? So you are affecting the collective consciousness through your expansion, and the collective consciousness is plugged in to the power grids of the universe, and all that is, all is connected. There is no separation here. And how exciting is that? That your expansion is assisting in the expansion of source, of all that is, of all the planets, of all the beings. There is no separation. All is energy. You are here to experience this illusion, to allow you to expand even further. For it is through this illusion of experiencing fear and exploring who you truly are, where you truly expand in the most powerful way. It is a gift for you. It is not happening to you. You chose this to be here. This is a beautiful experience, although some of you don't see it as beautiful. You question why you were here. You question why would you come here. Then, my dear, it's an environment like this where you can expand the most. Can't you see? It is up to you if you want to expand through fear or love. It is your perception. See it as a gift for what it is. And this will allow you to release resistance to this transition. You'll be able to flow more easily through the universe, and you'll be able to unlock more of your divine blueprints, your rememberings of who you truly are. So, my dear ones, if you're inspired to act, and so be it. If you're inspired just to work on your own vibration, know just by doing that, you expand all those around you and all that is. It is through your vibration that you expand all that is. So, my dear ones, many of you, we would say, are inspired or some of you even have urges to, we would say, make changes in the world. But we would say bring it back into love. And are you doing it out of love? Are you doing it out of fear? Were you inspired to do these actions? Or were you doing it out of fear to change the conditions, my dear one? You do not have to do any actions to assist others or to assist Gaia, to assist the universe. For you just being in alignment, you expand all that is. You expand the collective consciousness. And in that state of alignment, due to your frequency being raised from living in a love vibration, you will receive guidance and inspiration. And that may be to take a certain action to assist others. But can't you see there is a difference here? Taking an action out of love or taking action out of fear to change the conditions, or doing it because you're inspired out of love to do it. And what a creative game it is.
And I think when you're inspired out of love, you really are not tied to the outcome. It doesn't matter to you. You're going to do it anyways. And I think that was like a really good clue for me to know, am I doing it out of love or am I doing it out of an urge? Because out of urge, I really care how it's going to turn out. But out of love, it's not that I don't not care completely, because it's hard not to be tied to the outcome to things, but it's a lot softer. It's easier. It's like, I'm just going to do it because I love to.
That is correct. Through the love vibration comes acceptance of what will be, my dear ones. And this is the key here. The key is to let go and trust. For if you can fully trust, you fully surrender to the universe. You are, we would say, setting out a frequency to say that you trust who you truly are, my dear one. And by doing that, you naturally raise your vibration to receive guidance. We understand this may seem anti-intuitive for you to completely let go of control, but by doing that, to trust the process, to trust the power within, to trust you'll receive the answers. By doing that, you will increase your vibration and expand more of all that you are and expand all that is. It's trusting and accepting of all conditions, my dear ones. You see things in a duality aspect, and this is part of the collective consciousness which is being shifted out. But we would say the old operating systems still linger. Yes, the shift has occurred more into a oneness state, but as these old operating systems linger within the consciousness, we would say these perceptions of wrong or right, or trying to control the conditions, still remains. So it is up to you if you want to keep living in these old operating systems, or if you would like to transcend that and live into the oneness state of who you truly are. The power is up to you. You've always had the power, and you have always had the answers within you. You have just forgotten them, and you rely on others, and you rely on certain circumstances or certain outcomes to make you feel better or to allow you to feel more secure. But this is a limitation, my dear one. You have all the power within you. It is about being vulnerable to the unknown. You want to control your conditions in your life to allow you to feel more secure. But my dear one, by you controlling the conditions, you are limiting yourself. You have the choice to do this. You may negate some negative emotion, but my dear one, do you truly want to experience why you came here according to your birth intentions? It is up to you. You as a human can only see it to a certain level, we would say, because of your vibration of the human race. No matter what your origins are, you came here in a human body to experience life as a human, and this affects your frequency. You can only see to a certain point. So by you controlling conditions, you are limiting. You are going off, we would say, limited information. You are going off information where the full picture is to come to your awareness. So if you want to explore fully your pre-birth intentions, which can be beyond your comprehension, it is to let go and trust. This fairy channel, Kimberley, she did not even see she could be where she is right now and to channel. This was not her conscious intention. She was led one step of the way, received guidance to take one step of the way, and she uncovered her life purpose. But can't you see? If she planned this, she would never reach this stage. She would be limiting herself, but she chose to let go. And Isabel, you are the same. You chose to let go as well, and you explore more of your life purpose, and this is the way. Be prepared to give up everything that you know, or what you know in here. Much of it is based on old operating systems. You have the knowing within you. No longer do we live here in the mind ego. Yes, it helps us. It assists the human race in certain ways. But for you to uncover your life purpose, it is to live in the heart center. And that is where the knowing is. And that is where your connection to all that is. It is the portal within you to connect to your God self by connecting to your own heartbeat through the breath, to going within, connecting to the energy that resides in the heart center. You connect, you can synchronize to the heartbeat of all that is, the heartbeat of all creation, to source, to your brothers and sisters, both here and elsewhere within the universe. You would say there is a pulse, there is a thread of energy that connects all of you, and you can tap into this. You can tap into this heartbeat. You can tap into the communications and communicating with your brothers and sisters through energy. You can travel throughout many worlds in the universe through using the thread, the gateway, we would say. It is all within you. It is not outside of yourself. All the portals, all the ways to travel through the universe, all the answers that you seek is all within you. What you see in your reality is, you would say, created to be a reflection of what is going on with you, because you are God. And certain players came into your life to assist you to either activate the remembering of who you are, or to trigger it, to allow you to take the inward journey, to allow you then to go through the remembering journey. So all players in your life are there for you. Everyone is. If it's in your life, it is for you.
I think it was really helpful when you told me the knowing, like you just know things, and it's subtle, and not to doubt it, because it's very easy to doubt. Like sometimes you get like a knowing, you're like, really? And you don't understand it, but it's the first step. You just kind of go with it.
And this is one of, I would say, the challenges that you may experience going through this transition, because these knowings and information comes into your awareness, but you second guess it or you disregard it. And if you're not in the present moment, you will not even receive this information. My dear ones, we would say, because you place limitations on who you truly are, you place limitations on the society you live in, you doubt your abilities, you see yourself not as worthy or not as capable of having such abilities, of reaching such unlimited potential. You live in the past, and because of your past, you would say, in your terminology, you project yourself and you see yourself as unworthy. But my dear ones, all that has occurred is for you. And if it's in your knowing, it is for you. It may not make sense. What this is an activation of your blueprint because of your vibration. By raising your energy frequency, which is raising your consciousness, that is a key, and that has unlocked part of your divine blueprint. And now that information is now released into your conscious awareness, but it is a first step. You will have a glimpse of it or you will see the full picture. It is accordance to your frequency. Now, what you do with that information is up to you. You can disregard it, you can put it aside, but it is there for you. With this, you are likely to receive inspiration and guidance to explore this in a certain way, but you may experience fear with this, because we would say certain stories within your consciousness and the collective consciousness allows you to think that you will be judged, that you will not be accepted. My dear ones, they are different, for you are different. You are activating more of your blueprint, which includes galactic blueprint. So some of these abilities, some of this information may seem science fiction for you. So you disregard it as a silly thought, but it is for you in some way. But it is just one step. But also detach from this, because it just could be a step to allow you to reach to a certain point. And from this point, you may choose to go a different direction according to your pre-birth intentions. So with every step that gets shown to you, explore it fully and be courageous in stepping past that fear. Because it is for you. You feel it within you. You feel the excitement. You feel the wonder. You will receive information for the next step if you're in the present moment. It could be to take a certain action. It could be very simple. That is okay. You do not have to go 100 steps ahead. This is not how it works. You are not vibrationally ready to receive information for the 100th step. Can't you see? You take action on the next step that's available to you according to your vibration. And once you have completed that step, then the next step will be revealed to you. But to receive this next step is to be in the present moment, for you to hear this guidance and inspiration. And those of you, due to your God-given gifts, you may receive the signs in different ways. Some of you can hear our words directly. Some of you receive the knowing. Some of you may just be guided to a piece of information, to a song, to an animal. The signs are related to your pre-birth intention and assigned in a way according to your belief systems where you will receive the message. So perhaps if you are not fully open to receive verbal messages, the messages may come in a different way for you to receive the message. It is just one step.
A client of mine sees messages through dreams. Her higher self or her God self communicates to Mona through her dreams a lot of times. And in fact, the dream she had seeked me out for a session. And so I uncovered it during the session and I said, oh, thank you. Thanks for bringing Mona to me. That's how Mona gets a lot of communication from her higher self through dreams.
When you go into the dream state, you enter the non-physical state. But many of you forget these messages upon awakening. You can set your attention to remember. So if she was to remember these dreams, and this is her form of direct communication, for she has less resistance in this avenue of receiving information, where others might have too much resistance in this form. So messages are delivered in another way. But my dear ones, know that when you dream, when you sleep, you return to who you truly are, to the non-physical, and you explore the universe in many different ways. And how exciting it is for those of you who do remember these travels and this communication. And that is unique to her. And it may be unique to others, but also in a different way. There are many ways that messages are being brought forth. By you practicing the inward journey, different forms of meditation, you connect more to who you truly are. And you'll be able to open up and unlock more of these communications. There is no magic pill. It's one step at a time, going within. No one stops doing the work, for you are human. And in the stage of great awakening, everyone does the work. This channel does the work. Isabel does the work. Everyone does the work. For you are here and you are human, you are going through this transition. Everyone has, we would say, limiting perspectives in some form. They may have been worked on, but they are layers. They become more nuanced, we would say. So even though you've done much work and you can perceive you do not have much limiting beliefs and fears, they may still exist, but in a very small, nuanced way. And if it was for you to transcend this, it will come up to your awareness and you'll be triggered. Can't you see how perfect this is? For many different angles, you're being triggered and activated to release these limitations within your belief system and operating systems. You are shifting into a new consciousness state. And as such, old operating systems must be transmuted for you to fully embrace who you truly are in this newer consciousness that you have entered into, which is the new earth.
Yes. And it's thank you for the reminding that you're just gonna fall into old programs and it's okay. It's layers upon layers upon layers.
It is a transition. One layer at a time, one belief at a time. Some of you experience great challenges, but this is because you are needed to shift dramatically, we would say, in this time continuum. So you chose such a great challenge to expand from, depending also on your pre-birth intentions. You wanted to experience great challenges. But my dear one, in the moment of that challenge, you can change the perspective to one of gratitude, to see it for what it is. And it's showing you that you've reached a level in your stage of development where now you can pass this test. But this test is, we would say, an achievement. Do not be fearful of these tests. You don't have to worry about passing or failing because you are all passing, my dear ones. If you react in fear, then it's still your teacher. And this test will come up again in your reality in another way. It will manifest in another way. So you do not have to worry about if you pass or fail them. It is according to your journey and your vibration. All is perfect and your journey is perfect. Every single step, my dear ones. Love yourself on this journey. This is the most important factor, is to practice the self-love. How worthy do you see yourself? When you can remember and work on who you truly are, that is pure love, that is pure acceptance, your vibration will allow you to receive more of these steps to your life purpose. Can't you see? All the answers that you seek are within you. It is up to you to address your vibration. These words will activate, we would say, a process within you. Some of you may be inspired to do this in different ways. But my dear ones, it is always the inward journey. You cannot change the outside situations in your environment, for it is all internal. If there's something that you do not like in your life, change the perspective. And it will reflect your new perspective once you do the inward work. Some of you experiment with this and have practiced in this. And you've seen this through your own eyes, how a shift in perspective can change your whole world, your perceived world. You will manifest your pre-birth intentions. you will manifest what is needed to allow you to explore your life purpose.
And Lakeshma, it's changing your perspective is really the inner work, but at times it's really hard because you really want to change the outside conditions. And it's almost counterintuitive because you get to practice every day accepting what is. So whatever comes into your reality, it is for you. It feels random, but it's not random. And you know, I get tripped up all the time, Lakeshma. But, and then I'm like, okay, sometimes I just pause, sometimes I meditate, sometimes I take a breath of fresh air, and I figure out, why am I upset? Why do I want to change the conditions? Am I being impatient? Am I judging something wrong? And then I love myself for being human instead of like, oh, I should know better. And then, you know, sometimes it takes a while to change the perception or the perspective, but it's just, it is. I understand the game. Like, that's what I came here for, to examine all these beliefs and to see it in love and to see it in beauty. It's kind of fun.
It is. Once you can release attachment from the outcome, you can see it for what it is, that it is a game. And do you have a personal experience of this you would like to share here today?
So I am, I'm moving, and where I thought I was going to move to, totally changed. It like fell through. It's what I thought was going to happen is not happening. And I knew I went through disappointment. It was because it was working out the way I had thought it was going to work out. And then it changed. And then what triggered for me, it wasn't like I was so tied to the outcome of like exactly like the house or how it was done. But I think the real trigger was the unknown, to be secure in the unknown. Hold on, Lakeshma. Bijou Zimmerman.
Our very friend is visiting once again.
Yes, come here. Come here. You. Yes. There's the furry friend. So I think it was really, to me personally, I'm so good at finding solutions and resolutions and problem solving. And people come to me at work, how to do something, where to go for information, to resolve. And I was so used to that part of my persona that I just have all the answers. So for me not to have an answer to something made me really scared. And I'm like, why am I so scared of not knowing? Why is not knowing so scary for me? Because part of my passion is to learn a lot of things, like learn why an airplane flies. I don't know. I just learn a lot of stuff, Lakeshma. I'm just curious about a lot of things. But I think it also gave me security in knowing a lot of things, so I would feel secure knowing information. So if something went wrong, I would know what to do, right? It took me a while, but I had to go within to figure out not knowing makes me so scared is because when I was little, if I could prepare for something, I would feel more secure. But then I remember when I was really little, I went to this church. I think I was like 5 years old, Lakeshma. And we came out of this church, and I said to my mother, I said, oh, I prayed to God for a toy. I remember my mom teasing me. She's like, oh, you don't pray for a toy. You don't pray to God for a toy. I said to her, oh, but I'm going to get a toy. And I remember knowing at 5 years old, I would get the toy from God. Like I knew it. And she was saying that wasn't going to happen. And she was saying to me that it was wrong in a way. But I knew, and I just funny. And so so this whole thing of not moving and not knowing where to go kind of reminded me of when I was little. I knew I would be provided for, and that's what the memory came up. So I'm calm. I'm calm. Like I know that it's all working out. Like when I was 5 years old and I did get the toy. I can't remember what I wanted, but
Can't you see how perfect this is for you?
yes.
How perfect it is that it fell through. It happened for a reason.
Yep.
You
It
had
happened
this
for a reason.
perspective within you that you needed to control the conditions, the false sense of security. It is tied to your persona, to your identity. The event showed you how you are still tied to your identity. So can't you see how perfect that was? It triggered you. And because you have so much practice of being in the present moment, you were able to receive that answer. And that what manifested in a memory of your childhood to allow you to remember, to trust, and to be vulnerable. And it is okay. So can't you see how perfect this was?
Yes. So that is taking a disappointment and pausing and really examining why you're disappointed, and then trying to go deeper into that emotion. Because I'm really good at being very adaptable. Like, oh, okay, no problem. It's fine. But I understand now, sometimes going deeper into it and examining it, because I will get more and more tests of not knowing, to feel secure in not knowing, right? Those tests will keep on coming up for me until I really examine it and really do the work. And it's helpful because I'm so glad that I'm given past and things to read. Like there are worlds where beings know that everything will be provided for them. Like that's not even something that they have to go through because they just understand it. But when we came here to Earth, we forgot that. Like we don't know it. Like we have to re-know it. When we're little, we know it. And then as we get older, we forget. But I like understanding that, like to know like their worlds exist like that, because then it gives me the courage to examine my own beliefs and say, this is not true everywhere in the universe. This is only true for me, or this is true for me, but I don't know.
And this is true for you in this dimension, my dear one. You are a multidimensional being. So the version of you that is accepting of all that is exists in the multiverse. Can't you see? There are many versions of you existing. This is why we say to be in the present moment. For if you live in the past, you would say you draw on older versions of yourself. So the Isabel out there that has the knowing, that has the acceptance, and has the ability to be vulnerable in the unknown and trust fully is out there in the multiverse. And once you raise your frequency, you will attract that version into the present now. And this is how you evolve. You are a multidimensional being. There is the multiverse, and there are other worlds. Who you truly are is so much more expansive than you can even comprehend as a human. But my dear one, by this event that occurred for you, this test, you have permanently risen your vibration as a result of this. For you've been able to make aware and change a perspective on a limitation that was in your consciousness. And now you are ready to unlock more of who you truly are. And now you're attracting more of the higher version of yourself into who you are as Isabel in the present now. You're attracting that higher version of yourself.
Yes, and I was getting an image of like paper doll cutout, like a where they hold hands, like up there. There's many versions of all of us. So that makes sense what you were saying, Lakeshma.
So you already have all the answers, my dear one. When you feel low, when you feel separated, when you feel hopeless, know there's a version of you out there that has the answers, that has all the information that you seek. There's in a state of pure oneness in conscious awareness. All the versions exist, and it's up to you by raising your vibration, you attract that version into the present now. You'll enter that universal state. Can't you see? Within your reality, there are many dimensions occurring at once, and you align to that dimension in the present now where your higher self exists. It is a key. Your vibration is a key to unlock that passage, to attract that higher version of yourself into the present now, to embrace that version of you. My dear one, you are God. You have all the answers that you seek, but you have forgotten. But by being in the present moment, this is where the most powerful moment exists, the most powerful pathway to access the multiverse, to access your God state, to activate more of your divine blueprints is always in the present moment. This is where the power lies. All the multiverse, we would say the pathway to enter this is from the present moment. You do not have to consciously go to the multiverse, my dear one. By being in the present moment, you'll be able to activate this information and to acquire information if it is for your life purpose, if it is, would say, unlocking a divine blueprint, but it's about being in the present moment. You do not have to go anywhere. If it is fun for you, you can, but know about being in the present moment, you'll activate all the information from all the versions of yourself that is needed for your life purpose in the time continuum.
So, Lakeshma, the vibration, so I feel like it's on a cellular level, right? And I feel like there's a lot going on with the vibration. And when I'm in the present moment and going within, I have access to all my multi versions of myself, right? Is it like a tuning fork? Like how does that vibration work?
We would say you are energetic beings, but because you're in this dimension, you are in this illusion of Gaia, we would say this affects your frequency because you are in a human body. And this, we would say, the combination of the energy of the human body and who you truly are, your God self, the mixture, we would say, of this experience allows you to have a certain energy signature. So by being completely interwoven into this reality, you see things as real because you see it's part of your vibration. But my dear one, if you're in the present moment, you connect more to that God part of you that does not exist in the illusion. And it's in the present moment where you can expand. And for you to expand is to explore the higher versions of yourself. So my dear one, you can explore past versions of yourself, and you do this often, but this is not beneficial for you. So we would say habits. That's one in the ego mind. You base your life and compare your life how it was in the past. You look at your upbringing, you look at events, and you judge who you are based on past events in your life. But what happened prior to the present moment are older versions of yourself. Why would you want to go there in this older versions in the present time continuum? So for you to be in the present moment, you activate the God particle within you. By you raising your vibration, it becomes a key, a vibrational key, and activates your divine blueprint. And this is accordance with your pre-birth intentions and divine timing. There is a combination of things occurring here. And by doing that, by you allowing your vibration to rise, you'll naturally attract the higher version of yourself into who you truly are in this time continuum. So as you raise your vibration, you are actually attracting higher versions of yourself that has the all-knowing. So it's up to you. If you want to expand fully, you want to explore your life purpose, it is to be in the present moment. For if you're not in the present moment, you then automatically explore older versions of yourself. So why would you want to do this? Of course, some of you may choose to do this, and you will expand, because all can only expand. But my D1s, you may not fully be able to realize your life purpose by doing so. If you chose to explore why you were here, it is to be in the present moment. And it is here when you can access higher versions of yourself.
I think in order for my vibration to raise, going to the older version of myself is really the young Isabel, and it's really connecting with her to see where that limiting belief came. Like I had uncovered a belief that sounds so weird, because like logically I don't believe it, but inside I had was I hold on to like my childhood toys, and I couldn't understand like why I was so attached to like physical things, right? And I'm like, boy, but I really am. And so it took a while to get down to this belief, but I remember my mom saying, oh, that was the last time when your dad was healthy, or that was the last time we were a family. And somehow the belief came that the past important than the future, even though I know future memories are just as bright and shiny and happy, and that they become the past. I had this belief that the past was going to be better than the future. And that took like a while to uncover. And I don't, and what's funny, Lakeshma, I don't really like to dwell in the past. Personally, I'm like, the past is the past. I like on, but when I uncover a fear, a belief, it's usually that belief past.
Of course, my D1, the memory of you, we would say, knowing about the toy, that was in the present moment. By being in the present moment, you were shown that memory for your highest good. That is the difference. You are not living in the older version of who you are. You have been shown this memory for you, but you are still in the present moment. So if it is for you, you'll may be shown certain aspects of older versions of yourself. But there was a key there, and there was a key to draw on that memory and then to let it go. It was for you, not to live in that version of you, but to receive the message in that. If it was brought forth to you in your conscious awareness, then it is for you. But my dear one, all you need to do is live in the present. And if we would say past aspects are shown to you, then accept them. Take what is needed for you, because it's being shown to you for a reason. But still be in the present moment. And then once you receive that lesson, and then you'll continue to live forth in the present moment, my dear one. It's not about living in older versions of yourself.
And living in your older version, I think what you're trying to convey is I behave a certain way because that is the way I've been taught. I am this way because this is who I am, because this is what is expected of me, what it's been taught. I'm not good at math. I've never been good at math. That's living in an older version.
Living in the past is living on habits, is living on limited patterns, limited stories in your, we would say, historic nature. In this time continuum, you would say, if you would like to call it as a historic terminology. But to embrace the present moment is to let go of all of who you are, to let go of your identity and live in the present moment. But all is you. And as oneness, you are also those past versions and all the versions of yourself. But for you to expand fully and to unlock your love purpose is to be in the present moment. It is not about resisting all the other lives. It is about being grateful for them because they have shown you and allowed you to be where you are today.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to clarify it only because I've been working on releasing my persona, Lakeshma, because it's my persona is I'm releasing my persona as Isabel, even though I've created this character as Isabel. Releasing my persona so I become my authentic self. And it's a series of little steps, and I'm very grateful for all the help that I get to release my persona around it. But I understand I am way more than Isabel. I've been many, many, many things. This is my current version is Isabel, and I love her, don't get me wrong, but I understand I'm way more than just Isabel.
You are, and all of you are. As you do the work, you release more of these limitations. Your very personality, your identity, we would say. Parts of the personality can be formed in the old operating system. Some aspects can be beneficial and limiting, but it is your identity, who you see yourself as, can be somewhat limited because we would say, due to certain events, you hold this identity about who you are, about maybe how you perceive, how you're received in society, a persona of how you want to be perceived in society. And this is somewhat limited because you are always expanded. If you hold on to this identity, you then start to live in older versions of yourself, for you are always expanding. An identity, we would say, can keep you, we would say, in a state of stuckness. Instead of flowing through the higher versions of who you are, they're always expanding, they're unlocking more of who you truly are. So let go of more of your identity. If there's aspects of your personality that are beneficial, then so be it. But know that any labels can be somewhat limited. For if you free yourself of any labels of who you think you are, you allow yourself to fully explore your life purpose and why you came here. For if you label yourself a certain way, in your belief systems will have to match that. So it means you may not be able to attract certain new information because it does not resonate with your identity. So if you want to release old operating systems, this is the way to allow you to explore fully why you were here. And we know this is challenging. In your society, you've put labels on many things in your society. You've given yourself a label. But my dear ones, you are much more than you can even comprehend. And once you can release who you think you are from here, based on old versions of yourself, based on habitual patterns, once you can live from here, you will then start to see more of who you truly are. That is God, that is limitless, that is perfect and whole. You are all whole. You are all powerful, my dear ones. You've only forgotten that. And is there anything else you'd like to discuss before we finish here today, my dear one? My dear one, I think your sound is off.
Oh, thank you. Can you hear me now?
I can.
Thank you, Lakeshma.
And thank you. It's not by accident that you are here. And we are so honored to see your growth, my dear one. and how you first found us to where you are now, exploring more your life purpose. And this is the work. It's just one step at a time. Remember that we love you, for we are you. There is no separation here. Until next time, farewell.